Good morning or afternoon, depending on where you are and when you're watching this. I'm Dr. Susan, and I invite you to spend time with us in creative inspiration. And today, we're going to take a look at a book called Snippets. That's the name of the book. And it has some fun ideas in it, and it doesn't just talk about the ways in which we can be, but how we can be in our world, that's our own world, and then the world at large, which is the whole earth that you can conceive of, okay? So we're going to talk about how we can take that and make it a creative form of art that describes and reflects who we are, all right? So the name of the book is Snippets, and it's a story about paper shapes. And it's written and illustrated by Diane Olber. All right? So it's a kind of a fun story. Well, if we can get the pages to turn. Gosh, here we go. 1, 2. This is the book. She wrote this book in recognition for her children. All right. And the book starts out by saying, this is a story about a strange little place where 2 shapes of paper filled up the whole space. Triangles and squares would all wait in line to make a home and save the same patterned design. Each house, like the other, all so mundane. Not a chimney, a shingle, or a long window pane, all the same. Then one afternoon, after new shapes were made, a snippet showed up, too, in an aqua blue shade. But because Snippet had an oddly shaped top, he looked a bit different from a normal rooftop. He was very shy, but wanted to play, so he asked the shapes, "What are you making today?" "We make sturdy houses," announced the red square. "Asymmetrical shapes belong right over there. Because we are different, it's best we're divided. We just can't risk having our house lopsided." That's an interesting concept. Snippet wasn't expecting to be asked to leave, as he was shocked that the square was being naive. He could build a strong house and be part of a pair, even though he was not like a regular square. Not wanting to argue, he walked over to the pile and noticed each shape had its distinctive style. They were all snippets. They were just like him. Some sides were long and some shapes were slim. There's a very large pile of those kinds of pieces. He was so excited by such a surprise. There were so many shapes of irregular size. "Come on," they all said, "jump right in the pile." So Snippet dove in with a bright, gleaming smile. You can tell them all apart, too, can't you? And even though Snippet really loved this new space, he just couldn't forget the strange, tidy place. Deep down in his heart, being divided felt wrong. He just wanted to see all the shapes get along. As he stood thinking, an idea came to mind. What if he went back and tried to be kind? To that misguided square with that perfect physique, he could show him the beauty of being unique. Unique means to be different. When Snippet arrived, Square started to grumble. "Why are you back? You'll make our house crumble." This was Snippet's big chance to make Square truly see all the wonderful things that could possibly be. Snippet pointed to the roof's acute angle. He said, "I could make a tall chimney so that the green triangle." On that green triangle, Snippet saw the squares start to fill up with doubt and knew it'd be best to act it all out. So he climbed on the triangle and said, "How's this look?" Square watched carefully, but the house never shook. "It's not falling down, and it doesn't look bad. In fact, it looks so great. What else can we add?" "Actually," said Snippet, "we could add some more. There's a rectangle, Snippet. Get a fancy front door. It's okay if I ask the pile to play today, too." Square happily agreed, only expecting a few. But the whole pile showed up to come over to play. And to Square's huge surprise, they all had such a fun day. The houses they made were never looked so grand, and it was as wonderful as Snippet had planned. Squares, triangles, and Snippets all getting along, they were a great place where they all could belong. Those are some pretty cool houses, right? Wow, look at these. Oh, look, there's a rocket ship. Long rectangles made houses that reached up to the sky. A pentagon-shaped rocket could fly in the sky. A right triangle made a red sail on a ship. It was amazing to see such close partnership. They all learned so much from each other that day that regardless of shape, they could happily play. And to think it was just one Snippet's kind heart that joined them together to make such great art. So there's when they took all the pieces and all the different sizes and shapes, that they created a whole city, that everybody had a place. And one of the wonderful things about this book is that it starts out with just squares and triangles. And they thought they were happy. You know, it was just the same all the time. So somebody got brave and went up and made a difference. So the little Snippet brought his whole group with him, and they made a wonderful place for everybody that could be together. And no matter what size you were, what shape you were, what color you were accepted. And you helped make a difference in the community and in the world. And they, like this one has a small face. It's really fun to add the little faces that they've added throughout the story. So one of the things that I thought about that might be kind of fun and to spark our creativity and our inspiration for being and recognizing the one. So we're going to take the ideas that the Snippets created and add it to our own sense of creativity and our own imagination. It would be a little sad for everybody to be wearing the same clothes and the same color hair and the same color eyes and all of that. We wouldn't be able to tell each other apart. So we're going to be able to use that idea of accepting all that is and taking those parts that add to our world. So we're going to create something very special. The special thing that we're going to create today is how do we fit in our world? When I'm talking about our world, I'm talking about our moms and our dads and our brothers and sisters and aunts and uncles and cousins, just our whole family that relates out not just in a small circle, because a lot of our families don't live in the same place. Some of them live in California, some of them live in New York, some of them live in Alaska, some live in Hawaii. It just depends. And some of them live overseas. And overseas there's Germany and Ireland and Britain and all kinds of different places. And that's our huge world, our large world at large. So we're going to take this idea that the little book created, and we're going to create how we see ourselves and how we fit into our world. I have this one, this orange piece of paper, and it says my world. Okay, you can see it on the other camera too. That says my world, and it's orange. And this one it says my world, and this one says our world, which is the world in which everyone lives. Okay, all sizes and shapes and colors and everything. And we all are unique, and we all have a very special place. So I would like, if you could, to find some papers that you can cut up that Mom and Dad say it's okay. And you can cut up magazines, you can cut up, old posters and things like that that you're not using anymore. And you can create your own snippets. Snippets are different sizes, different shapes, different colors, different designs. This is my pile. So I have a whole pile here of all these different sizes and shapes and everything else. I'm kind of splattered them all over the place. But what we're going to do is take the pieces for our world first. This is our world right here. We're going to take those pieces, and I'm going to put them down here so you can see that. There's our world. There's that one, the orange. I'm going to put that there. And we're going to use a glue stick today because that seems to work the best with these little snippets. And I'm going to create my world. First of all, I'm going to think about the fact that how many people do I have living in my house? I have 5. So I'm going to take a blue one and kind of spread my glue around and put that one there. Say maybe that's me. And then I'm going to take a yellow one and add that to the pile. And you don't have to have it all glued down if you don't want to. That would give it different dimensions. Okay? And this is my mom, so I'm going to put her there. And then I have my daughter, Casey, and I'm going to have her as purple. So I'm going to put some glue there. Put that down over here. And then I have my grandson, Dominic. And I'm going to do, I guess it doesn't matter the color, but the shape might be different. So I'm going to take this one, and I'm going to put Dominic in here. And put him over here like that. And then I've got Finn, who's my other grandson. And he lives with me too. And he goes over here. Then, that's not all that I have that lives in my house with me, and it's part of my world. Part of my world is my cat. We have cats. We have 3 cats. So I guess I can use 3 different, well, I have 2 black cats, so I'll do them all yellow. So there's 1, and here's 2, and here's 3. That's for Callie. She's our other one. So there was our. So this is who lives in my house. Now these are just the pieces. These are the people that live in my house. This doesn't make it just my world. My world that I have at home kind of expands out to my world where I go to church, my world where I go grocery shopping, my world where I go to buy clothes and to the sewing store and lots of different places. That's part of my world too. And those are other people that I see all the time, and that's part of my world too. So I kind of want to make those a different kind of snippet shape. So I'm going to just kind of make little curlicues or something like that. Because this, and I'm going to put this around here, because this represents that for me. And I'm going to put another one here, because the reason I'm doing the different shapes for that is because it's outside of my home. But they're just as important and mean just as much to me because of our relationship. And one of the ways in which we keep a strong and loving relationship is being kind and recognizing when someone else might need some help or would like, different things that they need that they aren't able to find, that they might be able to ask me for, or ask me if I could find them or know where they could find certain things. And sharing information with one another is a way in which we do that. So we can go all the way around the perimeter of my picture and put that part of my world. Okay, and that's all my different friends and and my daughter's friends and my grandchildren's friends and my mom's friends, and they all have a very special place in our relationship, in our family, and it gives us a great opportunity to be creative and to express who we are. So I'm going to just go one more over here, and then I'm going to show you the next thing we're going to do to my world. So there's my world, right? Okay? So we've done that. Now, it's a little, so you can see that. There's my world. It doesn't mean all the pieces have to be taped down or glued down really tight. So when you work on yours, you can think of the other things that needed to be added to yours. Maybe your special interests, what you like to do. Do you like to ride bicycles? Do you like to scooters? Do you, the different things that you enjoy doing. So now it's a picture. It's got different pieces of paper on it. Doesn't say a whole lot to someone else that looks at it. I know what it means. So I think it might be kind of nice to add things to it. So I'm going to add, let's see, maybe some eyes like this. And some eyelashes, that would be fun too. A nose and a mouth. Maybe some little arms like that was in the book. We have arms holding each other, sharing time together. And little feet, that would be nice too. So I'm standing on my grandson's head. That's nice of me. So we add more eyes, and he's looking up going, oh my. And there's another nose and a smile, and give him some feet like that, and arms like that. So we can add characters, add characteristics, add fun little pieces to our life, okay? And that's part of our life that brings the joy and brings the love and the friendship and thing to it. And I might want to take the idea, let's see, how else can I be creative with this, with what's in my world? I think I can take and make some connections. Connections would be my interacting with them out here. Maybe when I go to the grocery store, I meet people. And so this one has a hat, like a hat on that one. Baseball hat, that looks cute. And give them some legs and feet so they can move around and get where they want to go. So when we're acting, and so we move that out there like that. So there's connection there. Now, when I look at my world and the world that I have that I live in day to day, I have to think about the other aspects of my world, which is the world that's outside of that. Say, and I live in California, and most of you guys live in California, but there's lots of other states, and there's lots of other countries. And they are different, they're unique, and they have also very special, unique things that they add to the world. And so I'm going to move my world and put it over here, and then we have our world here. That's the world in which we all live in, where we all connect together. So I'm going to make it's kind of a sloppy, it's a kind of a lopsided little circle, but it works. So, and I'm going to put, let's say, let's put a heart over here. This is where I live, right here. That's where I live. That's my world right here. I just put a heart there to represent my world. And possibly there's, and then my daughter and my other grandson live in Colorado. So they live over here. And because they're part of my relationship and the love that I have for them, so I'm going to put them over here. Put another little heart. There's another one. Now, the other people in my world, or in our world, are all different, all unique. So I'm going to take my other snippets, and I'm going to create different kinds of designs and different kinds of things. And I'm just going to lay them on the paper for right now. We'll glue them down a little bit later. And we're going to add the different ones. They can be different shapes, different sizes. And think about maybe the houses they live in. I wonder what kind of a house they have. Probably similar to us, but maybe their weather is different. So they need something else in their houses instead of maybe lots of glass doors and windows and things. Maybe they have snow, so they need doors that are solid so the snow the cold stays outside instead of coming inside. There's some places that don't have a lot of mountains and just have sand and flat lands. And so they have a different type of home and a different environment that they live in. And they have all of these little pieces of paper that I'm putting down here like that. I'm just cutting different shapes and different sizes because I think that's just kind of fun. That all these other different shapes all belong together, which is what the snippet was trying to tell the square and the rectangle, that this is what colors our world. This is what makes our world joyous and happy, and we make connections with people, and we share what we know. The cool part about sharing what we know is some people are creative in their aspect that they play music, or they act, or they dance and do all kinds of different things. Not all of us know how to do that really well. And it's wonderful to know that because our world is so diverse and has so many different things in it, that we get to enjoy what they know too. And we get to share what we know, which is what makes our world a much better, loving, and greater environment. And not only do we think about the fact that we have people, we also have lots of animals that are part of our world. And the things that they give to us, what kind of things do they give to us? Lots of different things. So we want to be sure we add that to what's in our world. And these little snippets are just little snippets of paper. Yet what they tell us and what they show us is what the world has to offer us. And we can always say yes or we can say no. It just depends on what they have and what they're willing to share. And the primary thing we remember is, as with the snippets that we had in this one and in the book, is that they're sharing and they're balancing our life. And they're balancing our world. So we have ways in which we can balance things and fill in the spaces that we need to give things to ourselves and to give things to our world. And right now, lots of people are sharing lots of things in working on getting our world healthy again, so that it's safe for all of us to go out and do the things that we want to do and to be the people that we want to be. Excuse me. So we take these things and we add them to our world. So we have our individual world, which is my world, and the things that I know really well. And then we have the pick up, I'll put all the pieces on the floor, so we're going to just leave this lay there like that. And this is the other part of the world that brings all the other things to us and balances us out and helps us be grounded in what we think and what we feel, and gives us an opportunity to what we know and what we can create that we can share with the world, which makes it different and makes it a wonderful place to be. So when you look at this big pile of paper, imagine that as being all the different people and all the different animals and plants and water and everything else that it takes to make our world a very loving and giving place. And we get to choose and we get to decide how we want to interact in that world, and that there's something very unique, very special, and very loving about each and every one of us, no matter where we are and who we are. And we're all here to give to one another and to share. So today's fun craft and activity was a way to show us how we can do that. So as you excuse me. So as you go through this week, keep yourself aware, give the best of who you are, and share what you know. Have a great week. See you soon. Bye.